Welcome back. Before we continue, please remember to subscribe and hit the like button. COVID-19 has affected our 4 pillars of personal finance, that is income, saving, spending, and investment. The last 3 pillars rely so much on the first one. If the first one is affected, then the last 3 will be affected. For a number of us, our income has vanished. For others, it has reduced. So in the next few months, in the next few years, you're not very sure how long this situation will last. We are likely to adopt a new culture on personal finance. Households are likely to change the way they spend their money and how they invest and all that. All the 4 pillars will be affected. So here are 10 tips you can use to make sure you thrive through the situation by saving money. Coming up. Point number 1 is use a shopping list. Every time you go out to the supermarket or any other kind of market that you go to, make sure you have a list of things that you want to buy. This will help you buy the things that you need and avoid buying things that are on sale. I know you can enumerate the number of times you have left your house and without deciding what you wanted to buy, and you end up buying stuff because you had money. You end up buying stuff that were displayed on your way there or in the supermarket, spending a lot, and you realize later some of the things that you bought you didn't need them. So it is important to have a shopping list every time you go out. Again, it will also help you save time. The much you spend, you don't have to loiter around or wander around trying to think what you want to buy for your house. So make sure you use a shopping list. Point number 2, make a meal plan. A meal plan will help you. Before you leave the house, you know what you're going to cook for supper or for lunch. So you're able to scan around and see what is available and what is not available. So this will also help you avoid buying things that you don't need or things that you have in the house. Because sometimes when you go out there, you forget what is left in the house. So when you scan before you leave, when you have a meal plan, you know what you're going to prepare tomorrow, the next day, and such. So you'll avoid buying things that you don't need, or you'll avoid buying in excess. So point number 3 is do it yourself. Whatever can be done at home. For example, if it is coffee, at Java, coffee will cost you about 200. One sitting, you may, you spend a lot that can, be used for an entire month. So by, preparing coffee at home, you are likely to spend less than, 20 shillings to prepare that coffee. It is the same coffee that you're paying, 200 or 300 in Java. So what's the point? So anything that can be done at home, if it is pizza or whatever else that you can do at home, why not cook it? Prepare it at home and save that money. So the 4th point is have a spending holiday once a week if it is possible. So by this I mean you choose a day of the week and decide whether it's a weekday or a weekend, and decide I'm not going to spend a single cent this day unless it is on basics, unless it is very, very necessary. So you decide to save money on that single day. So if you do that for 52 weeks, we have 52 weeks of the year. So at the end of the year, those are 52 days, you're likely to have saved some money. So if you implement that every week, at the end of the year, you'll have some results. So the next one is give yourself a break, what we call 2-week break before you do big spending. Before you decide to buy something big, before you decide to spend a lot of money, give yourself 14 days. And you'll realize that after giving yourself 14 days, some of the things that you desire to acquire or you wanted to buy, that desire is likely to wane, it's likely to go down, and you may realize some of the things that you wanted to acquire, you don't need them. So the next point again is make sure you buy quality, not quantity. I know I cannot overemphasize on this one. If you have ever bought a Chinese phone which promised quantity, had a lot of features, then it dies after 3 months. Most of us have gone through this stuff. Have bought a shoe or something else, whatever else you've bought, and then it was cheap, and then after some time, after a few days, it wears out. So it is important when you're buying, make sure you insist on buying quality. Quality lasts. Cheap is expensive. That is what they say. So make sure you buy quality to make sure you get value for your money. Point number 7 is compare prices before you acquire something. There are so many platforms online available today to, where you can compare prices before you acquire whatever, before you buy whatever you're trying to buy. So you can compare prices, Jumia, there's Kilimal, There's so many Alibaba, there's so many locally and international where you can compare prices and get to know who is offering the best, where the offers are, to be able to save money. You're trying to save money, so it's good to compare prices. You don't have to pay expensive for some of these things. There are people who charge you exorbitantly just because they know you don't know the price. So if you know the price, you have empowered yourself. So even when you're making a bargain, you have an idea of where the price range is. Point number 8 is give up expensive habits. You've been in partial lockdown for the last 60 days. There are so many things that you used to do before that, and we have not been enjoying them for the last 60 days. So I know by now you've realized there are so many things that you don't need in this life. You can do without, you can survive without them. So who said you have to pass by that club every, day? Who said you have to pass by a pizza place every Tuesday? Who said you have to pass by that coffee place every day or whatever day? Who said every day, every weekend you have to go out? I know for the last 60 days you've realized you can still live. You're not dead by now. You're still living. So if you don't do some of these things, if you give up some of these habits, you're not going to die. So you can still live. So make sure you give up the habits to be able to save money. Number 9 is learn how to say no. It is one of the most difficult things to do, especially when it comes to our friends. We are social beings. We don't like disappointing people, and we fear being alone. So to avoid, disappointing people or being left alone, we accept things even when they are against our values, our value system, our belief systems, and even when they're expensive. So learning how to say no, learning to stand your ground. If something is against your values, if something is costing you money and you don't have that money, learning to say no. You'd rather lose friends rather than, go against yourself, because what will happen, you're going to enjoy your money together, but when it comes to bearing those financial burdens, you're going to suffer alone. So make sure you learn how to say no. The last point is buy a water filter. If you usually buy, drinking water from the supermarket, that jerrycan, 20-liter jerrycan, costs you about 400 to 500 in the supermarket. If you buy a water filter to purify water from your home, you're likely to save money in the long term. Even a better option is refilling. Refilling a 20-liter jerrycan, especially, for example, in my area, it will cost you 100 bob. So buying the same from the supermarket will cost you 400 to 500. There are even others that are very expensive, more than that. So you are likely to save about 300 or 400 in a week. Let us assume you use one jerrycan per week. So you're able to save 300 or 400 in a week. At the end of the year, that's about 15,000. So these check options that are cheaper. In everything that you do, there are cheaper options, cheaper but still, maintain quality. So make sure you look for these options and implement them in your life. And at the end of the year, in the long term, you're likely to save a lot of money. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Hit the notification button also to get to know every time we upload a new video. Wish you all the best. See you next time.